Grazie, très bien. Let's see if I can move the slides forward while keeping chat in view. If not, please shout if there's anything in chat. So, agenda for today, as always, around up of updates, quick Q&A. I think I forgot the Q&A slide. And then we're doing all about journeys. And the whole way through this, all I can hear is "don't stop believing" in my head. So there are many references to that. I apologize. Last week on CIJ, quick reminder that if you have programs that need to be ready between December and February, to please update the list so that we can make sure people have permissions to get in and start building. Katya has already started and is learning a lot. I think I'm going to describe it as. That sounds positive.
Yes, very positive. And it works.
Yay. Right, so one quick update. So before, we showed you this slide in one of the earlier sessions. It was saying the statuses that would be available for each sort of campaign or event. Slight revision to that. I can understand you will look at this and go, I have no idea what this means. There's lots of words, what the hell? But essentially, this is how each part will be controlled, if that makes sense. So for any event where we have a wait list, that is controlled by the event. Then if we want to change whether they're disqualified or registered attended, that will be controlled by a journey. If we're doing things like sales ready, visited booth, attended presentation, they will be controlled by list imports into it. Similar to how we do it in Marketo anyway, we have a list of attended, we upload it, let's say it changes. We all know it, it's just a little bit different. Okay. Same thing for emails with the caveat, unsubscribe, we're not sure if we're going to have, but feel free to look at this later. It's just so it makes sense for you. If I want to do something, how am I controlling it? If it says journey, it's a journey. If it's a list of import, it's a list import. Should be pretty straightforward. I see hands. I'm going to start with Caroline.
You saw hands, but this still means that sellers will see everything in Dynamics and in Power BI reports as the heading in the column, right? So that hasn't changed.
Correct. That's their status. That should be visible either through their the Power BI report where we can filter how we need, or in the seller view where you see activity, etc.
Cool, thanks.
So ultimately, that's what says campaign member. So where it says campaign member, those statuses will be visible within the campaign. So here on this page, everything will be visible in the campaign. If you go back one, the waitlist people will not be visible, but the rest will be a status in a campaign.
Does that make sense? So here, the campaign, so excluding waitlist, but honestly, that's a step we want to take anyway. We're, checking who comes in. Why would a seller care if some random person who has nothing to do with anything is on a wait list just because we want a QA who's coming to the event? Katja?
I understand unsubscribe from the database. We're not sure if we're gonna have that, but you can also have the function unsubscribe from an event. I saw, at least. Is that something we can use when they registered and they want to unsubscribe from the registration?
So unsubscribe would be like they're not coming to an event anymore, right?
Yes, that's what I mean. When they registered and then say, I don't want to come. And usually they send us an email, but I saw the function that you could add a link to take your registration back, say it that way.
Yep. So
can we use that function?
Yes, we can. It would be this one where we're disqualifying or rejecting, right? So this would be updated and that status would display. Not they are.
No, I think it's more in the email. I can add a link and say I want to deregister from the event.
That is the disqualified, rejected. In the event, they get cancelled. In the campaign, we call it either disqualified is the proper But yeah, if you cancel someone or someone else cancels themselves from a registration, the disqualified status will be triggered.
And that will
but
be
they
visible.
can do that now themselves, because usually it was not possible in Marketo. We didn't have a link. When I put the link now in the email, they can do it and we see it in the journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
For
Great.
the
I
event.
love it.
We haven't successfully tested it yet, but yes, in theory, it should work.
I'll put it in the test queue. So
Yeah, when we did it, I clicked on it. I didn't get cancelled, but yeah, let's assume
try.
it's just something that needs to be tweaked. And then officially, that is a cool, neat feature that now people can cancel themselves from a registration in an email.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks.
And if you do that, then let us know, because we'd love to see how that works.
Me too. I will.
Right.
Maybe just to unsubscribe, what that is in Marketo right now is Marketo is actually keeping track of if someone gets an email and they click on the unsubscribe link and actually unsubscribe, that email gets marked as they unsubscribe from this email. So this is cool to see, hey, which emails actually got most unsubscribers. Maybe that's a bad email. Oops. But that we may not be able to, we haven't found out how to replicate that feature in CIJ, meaning if someone unsubscribed, of course, we will manage to see that they unsubscribed, but we wouldn't see and mark it against the email that they unsubscribed from. So that email campaign will not say it's from this email that triggered the unsubscription. If that makes sense.
Yeah, to me, but I might be. Might just be me, but I think it made sense. Caroline, you got a question?
Yes, two ones, but I'm comparing to how we're doing this in Marketo, so maybe this is outdated thinking. But in Marketo, we weren't able to go backwards in the different statuses. Are we able to do it here?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Remind me, like it doesn't have the same linear flow, but obviously some things like disqualified, like if someone opts out, disqualifies, unregisters from an event, I don't think we can then move them back round into like a wait list. It would need to be a new registration in that case, I think.
Yeah, for the event, you can only cancel. You cannot officially put someone back to waitlisted yourself, only if they register again and then they start from scratch. So ultimately, you're fine.
That's good.
It's
good news. And I'm missing the status not in program as we have in Marketo. Is there a reason why we don't have that anymore?
Well, that is not a status in a campaign anyway. You can remove people from a campaign in Marketo by saying not in program. It's not a status. Good question. I have not tried to remove people from a campaign. We know you can add them through list imports. Can you remove them? I'll leave that as an open.
Thank you.
Where's my open list?
Your open Bible, not a list anymore. It's a Bible.
I was waiting to see like
it's a book.
Anyone else before we move on? Awesome. So yeah, today we are going to do journeys. What are they? Why do we care? So journeys are very similar to what a smart campaign is in Marketo. It kind of combines the smart campaign and the flow bits into a single part. Every journey has an entry point, so that would be either a trigger or a segment. And journeys can contain various actions, conditions, activities, and connections. So there are journey templates, and to ensure ease of use and standardization and that things work, please use them. They will be pre-built and available for use. Please use the relevant template for what you want to do. And even when you're using a template, you will be able to edit, modify, delete, change pretty much anything you want. But, just because you can doesn't mean you should. So please don't break them, because we love them and they're fantastic. Journey templates are going to be available ones like this. So for an event, registration with a wait step, or registration with a wait step and a follow-up with the number of steps for each. These will all be available. They are not all available yet, but they should cover every possible setup that you want. So like registration, wait step with follow-up email and confirmation email, for example. They should be all in there, and you'll just clone out from there. There are also ones for web, for downloading a white paper, sending an email, nurtures, and then I put web twice because it was obviously very important. Coming in phase 2 will be appointment setting, Path Factory, content for email, nurture emails, SEM, and PPC. So stay tuned, they will be coming. Before you start, as we always say, check your naming conventions. Make sure that you're sticking with our detailed sort of methodology for naming things, name things appropriately. So we're going to have a journey that will send an invite, then we send invite. If we've got fills out form, in this case, it will be register and follow up. So we just mark things as we need to. Where do we begin? Well, we start in real-time journeys, and we go to the engagement tab and we find journeys. For anybody who has not seen that, it is real-time journeys here, and then journeys here. And if we filter by name, you can even see some of these templates are already ready. So do that. This is the structure. I've lost the camera view of all you guys, sorry. Oh, can I do this? Yay. This is kind of basic structure of how it's going to look. Personally, I love this. This is so much easier to mentally follow than it was in Marketo, where we were going 1 and 3 and 27 times whatever. This is really step-based, really easy to understand. So at the top, we have our trigger. This could, again, like I said, it can be a trigger or it can be a segment. We then have actions that we're going to take along the way. So in this case, we're going to send an email. We can deploy wait steps. We can then have a subsequent email, wait steps, and then we can branch into different options. So if they attended, we can take an action. If they didn't attend, we can do something else. Yes, Hasina.
I was wondering, is it possible to add some vertical layers, or perhaps maybe some of the dynamic layers based on job titles, just in regard of the nurture stream for next year?
In terms of this branching?
Yeah.
Oh, you can do so much with this branching. It's almost a bit overwhelming how much you can do. But yes, you can, because like I keep saying, because we're going back into all of this data that is unified across everywhere, you can get into some unbelievably detailed, complex like selection processes and routing decisions and carry on from there. Plus you get to really clearly see it, and that's going to make things super awesome.
Oh, that's really, yeah, that makes me really happy to hear that. Thank you. And it's a drag and drop platform, right? You don't you can drag it. Okay, good.
We'll go through, and then we'll quickly build one so that you can just see how quick and easy it is.
Yes, thank you.
No worries. So creating a journey and using templates. Sure, this is going to be fairly obvious to everyone. We have the new journey option. We select it. We come to our templates, and here will be a beautiful list of templates. We can sort by our grid view, tile view, whatever we want to make it easier to consume. As I said, there's two, I like the way I'm doing that, two types. So we've got trigger based. So this is when an action takes place. That could be submitting a form, clicking a link in an email, whatever it may be. It's where, where an action has taken place that we want to respond to. The other one is segment based. So this is newsletter sending, for example. They haven't done any action. We're picking our audience. We're going to perform an action based on that. So one is trigger based on action. One is segment based on our audience. When we make a trigger-based event, it's important that we tie the trigger to the event. Seems fairly logical, right? So we'll add our trigger and then we can start doing one now. So here is our new journey. Everyone can see, right? Good.
Yes.
Silence means yes. This is where the templates would be. For the minute, we're just going to skip. We're going to say a trigger. It gives us a whole list, and somewhere here should be marketing. Sorry, but remind me what I'm looking for. Marketing form submit. What have we got?
Yeah, marketing event. And here again, Mark is going to show you how to actually build a journey, but you wouldn't have to do this. When you select a template, it's already there. All you need to do is replace. So this is, you get an advanced training, get to see how it's actually done.
So here we've got our trigger, and it's over here in our options that we would select the event. I think it's this one, and this is what I mean, Hasina. Can you see like the levels of data that are available for each of these? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I can see that. It looks like HubSpot journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was exactly what I was thinking about Hasina. It looks really to HubSpot magical.
Yeah.
So that, as you can see, we search for it. We can either search by the name, or we can search by the URL, or the whatever we would need. Obviously, we have like our process. We would want you to be using the event name, make sure it contains it, and that will ensure that when the form is submitted, this journey kicks into action. We can also, bugger it, excuse my language. We also get a couple of options below. So we could exclude a segment. So say we are, for some reason, we're targeting all of the BU list, but we want to exclude people from Ireland, then we can exclude them from this journey. That's not a great experience, obviously, because they would still be able to submit a form and then this journey would stop. So we'd want to think a bit tactically about what we're going to do, but there is the option to exclude certain people. We could have a blacklist of companies that we don't want to process, things like that. We also have a time zone, and please check this, because I think it defaults to GMT, Coordinated Universal Time. So no matter where you are, it will default to this. So just make sure you fix your settings. We can give it a start date, which would obviously be before the event starts. And if we want, we can give it an end date where it will finish, and after that no one will pass through. So these are some additional options that you can fill in. If we're doing it on segment based, same thing, we would grab our template, but in this case we will have a journey start based off our segment. Now when we're doing email sends, there will always be built in a wait step to initially start. The reason we're doing that is you can't necessarily preview audiences in the same way that we could for Marketo, where we suddenly get a full list. We want to make sure that people are moving through this, the correct audience is being pulled in and they're moving through. And the best way we found it is to have this wait step. So we start it and we'll see how many people come into the wait step. We can then, if it's fine, we go ahead. If there's any problems, we can stop and make sure that our audience is right. I've just seen Andrea's message. So can we add additional steps, e.g. if someone hasn't opened the thank you email or hasn't saved the calendar event, we can create an additional step/reminder. With the support of MOPS, yes, you can. Should you do it on your own? No, you should not. There you go. There's the short version. But yeah, we can. Like, these are unbelievably customizable. Some of the ones Brit has made will break your brain because they have arrows going everywhere, but what you can do is phenomenal. And you can like filter, like split audiences down and down through these branching options. So you could say like registered and is this company or that company and did this, and it's wild. Right. So that's important. We have a wait step when we're doing email sends. It ensures that we have the correct audience. Has someone put their hand up?
Yes, Caroline.
I did. Maybe this is similar to Andrea's question, but
Mhm.
if a journey has ended, can we still add it to a new journey? So if they were a member, clicked whatever from event A, and 2 months later, I'm like, okay, if you were a member and clicked the email event A, then do this in event B. Or is it like if one journey is closed or done, then you can't reference it anymore?
You can't reference the journey, but you can reference, again, there's lots of opportunities, but you could actually create a segment that says, hey, the people that attended but didn't do this, whatever, and then you create a new journey based on a very specific segment that filtered out the audience that did something or not.
Okay, so you can build a segment based on a journey.
No, that you cannot. But you can make a segment which basically includes activities that the journey did trigger.
Okay, so I think, and keep me honest here, Britt. Think of each thing as like an object, right? You've got the email, which exists as a thing, and the event that exists as a thing. So you can build your segment, your audience, to say they were a member of this event and they clicked on this email. Does that make sense? So you are getting to the same sort of result. It's just you're not saying, whereas in Marketo, we could say they're a member of this program or they're a member of this program's smart campaign and use that as our reference. In this case, we kind of have to put the blocks back together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. Thanks.
Cool. So yeah, as you can see here, here's an example of people who have been added through a trigger and then they're waiting an hour. So we know that 3 people coming through. I only wanted to invite 3 people to my birthday. It's fine. That's what we're doing. So I know that's good and it can carry on, it can send. We also have custom triggers, which are marked as custom trigger. All right. These are used predominantly for changing statuses. Katja.
Regarding the wait step, that means we do the wait step for us to control it. So I'll do that. I prepare everything. Then I'll say wait an hour and then I'll go back. And if I'm happy, then it's okay. If I make changes, I have to wait another hour.
So predominantly, imagine that you've created it, you think it's all good, you click go, you come back after 15 minutes, and instead of having 1,000 people, there's 5 people. Right, that's why we want to stop it. So at that point, we stop it because nothing's actually happened. They just started and waited. So we can then stop it, readjust our audience, run it again, make sure that number becomes what we're expecting.
Whenever I'm fine with the expected number, then I can go on schedule it or whatever, then I'm fine.
Well, it's already scheduled. So at that point, you don't need to do anything. It will just run. You let it go past its wait step. All the processes kick in. Everything's good. It's that first, when we first setting the audience. So this is segment based, right? Not necessarily a trigger based. When we set the audience, we're just making sure the right number of people are flowing into that first wait step. If it looks fine, then we're good. We walk away, we have a nice lunch, come back, and all the work is done. Yeah.
I think the history on this one is, you may have noticed in the past there have been some emails going out to global database or big audiences that should not have. And we were already in Marketo saying we need a way to prevent issues like that, bad email sends to happen. How can we make it happen in CIJ? So there is actually, we're looking into more systematic way of preventing this. But fact is, if you have a journey in CIJ today, yes, you have your segment, and then you could just say the next step is send the email. But not like in Marketo, where it shows you the audience and where you approve, it tells you, hey, it's actually going out to 1,000 or 300,000 people. You have a chance to see it there before you click approve. In CIJ, you don't even have it. You would have to click to see how big is my audience actually of this segment. So if you don't do that, worst case, you say, oh, I want to send an email to DACH, and you take a segment that's called DACH, let's say. And the next step is send email and you approve. A second later, that email would go out. And first afterwards, would you realize, oh shit, wrong segment. I shouldn't do that. So what we do is put a wait step in. So that you have, when we, in this case, you won't have publishing rights, but when you're ready to send an email and whoever clicks the button to say, go ahead and publish, it will first go to the first wait step, and then it will show you how many members went from the go to the wait step. And if it's 300,000 instead of 3,000, you're saying, stop before it goes to the next step, which is actually sending the email. So it's a precaution. It's just helping us to make sure we prevent as best as possible bad email sends.
Makes sense. Good. So wait steps, literally what we're talking about. So yeah, as we said, adding them is kind of like our guardrails. It stops like massive sends going to everywhere, anywhere. I mean, they're also a useful tool that can be implemented during the journey. So whereas before we would have maybe a email gets sent and then we'd make another smart campaign to do follow-ups or things like that, we could have, in this case, say a marketing event where they sign up for the form, and the first thing we want to do is, okay, we're going to wait an hour, let's say, and that gives us a chance just to get people in. We'll then send them an email, and this can be, I'm just going to grab a random one, but let's say it's their confirmation email. And then we want to put in a wait step until a specific date and time. So say this is a week before my event, I can then send their first reminder, and you see how we can just start layering and structuring these beautifully. There are multiple options, so we can set a specific amount of time that they can wait, be that a minute, a week, whatever. We can specify a date or time, so 7 days before the event, or we can use a time that gets specified by another trigger. I haven't really used these, so for the minute, just keep to the first two. If we can find and template some great stuff, I think Britt's got something to add.
We will actually, the specific by trigger is cool. We will add them to your journey. So again, if everything works beautifully and as we think, that the one waiting for a trigger means, hey, when they checked in, when they attended, when they got marked as attended to your event, first then do the next step, which is sending the follow-up email, for instance. So you wouldn't even have to make it, you know, a date where maybe the date changes, or maybe you're not ready, maybe they're not checked in yet, or attended. I'm starting to use CIJ terms. So that trigger feature wait step is really cool. Let's see how much we can take advantage of it.
Carolyn?
2 questions. Can we edit or modify a journey once it's scheduled?
Oh, good question. Yes, you can. You can stop a journey and then you can modify it. Now, anybody who is already in the journey, just like in Marketo, once you're in the journey, you're in the journey. You will complete that journey, not necessarily the updated version. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And you,
okay.
So you can, if you save this and publish it, you can then stop it, modify a step, and then republish it, and it will publish as a whole new version. So anybody who was in the original version complete the original version, but everybody else goes into the new version.
Okay. And then I'm wondering, do we work with internal alerts as we've done in Marketo? So I would add a step here, send internal alert to seller. Or is it a different journey, or is it off the table?
Sending alerts?
Yeah.
I will let Britt answer that one.
It is. Okay, now I think I'm unmuted. It's the same as in Marketo right now. The alerts are managed by a central, a global smart campaign. So in future, a global journey that will listen to the hand raiser activities that we have. So you don't have to worry about any alerts logic in your journeys. It will be managed holistically, globally, through other journeys.
Okay, and who decides how that should look? Because I know for some events we want alerts to go out to sellers and some we don't. For list imports, sometimes we do want them, sometimes we don't. Will we be able to decide when we want which kind of alert to be sent?
Yeah, if you go back to that, you remember we said all the events now have a sales ready status. If you trigger the, do list import to define which of your people in your campaign are sales ready, through a list import, you can change the status to sales ready. That will in the backend trigger an alert.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Katja?
I have one question for the follow-up, because usually I need follow-up emails, but I don't schedule those on the day, because sometimes I'm a day later to have the YouTube video ready. Would that be then also possible, or I just do a date 3 days after the webinar to be on the safe side and change the date then, because I don't want to get it out automatically?
Mark, do you want to go to that event registration journey that is already there? I think there you can see it, how that journey is figuring that step out.
Sure. Where are we? Top one. This one.
The third one.
Thank you.
So if you go for the first wait step, for instance, that's actually before. So here, if you go to the properties, it's using that trigger. So it's saying, hey, at my event start date, that's a trigger. When that event start date is due, then 1 day before, so it says -1 day, and you can set, now you're not in edit mode, but you can then decide how many minutes, hours, or days you want before that event start date do you want something to happen. In this case, we're saying 1 day before the event start date, send first email reminder. And the same happens in the wait step. I believe the attribute attended. No, anyway, you can also do it with afterwards. So yeah, maybe it's attended one that has attended, and then 1 day after first do we change or send the email like that. But yeah, you can do it either way, before or after a certain time.
So
but when I have set it on 1 day after, but then I realize after the event, it's going to take me 2 days because I don't have the information, I can change the timing there and save it? No.
That's what we have. We will have 2 types of journey for you. One this is set and loaded. If you're pretty sure, like a webinar, why would you not have that in the data?
Well, sometimes you don't get the PDFs on time because they need to do something or something. So it's almost, I say 95% I will be able to send it the next day, but I never know before.
Yeah. So that we will give you 2 types of journeys. If maybe Mark, you go back to that list of templates we have, you can have all in one, but then it will have these wait steps, and you hopefully don't change. I mean, if members are in your event and then you don't want to send the email the day after which your journey said, but they're already in your journey, yeah, that's not so cool. So in the template in the presentation, you will see we have journeys where we separate the registration from the follow-up activities into 2 journeys. If you're unsure if you're going to want to go the safe side, yeah, you need 2 journeys rather than 1 to manage your event. Or if you say, I'll do it all in one, then you use the second journey that does it all in one with these wait steps. So it's up to you to decide. You see, there's one that just does registration and just follow up. Then they're separated and you don't have to have it waitlisted. The wait step.
Mm-hmm. So if in doubt, separate them out.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That even rhymes.
I know, right? So yeah, that's wait steps. It's got covered. Also, you saw me do this during the quick demo, but just to iterate, when you're selecting your email, when you add in the email option, come onto the panel on the right, select your email. You can get a nice little preview, and then it will update to tell you that that's the email it intends on using. There are journey exits. So this
I think there's one question, Mark.
Is there? Whose question is it? Ah, Christina, hello.
Yes, hello again. Sorry. It was just regarding your journey. For example, the ladies, my colleagues, needs usually just to do a follow-up internally, locally, when we have a local event, to do, hey guys, we succeed to get 27 registration. Here is the list of registration. So should they have, so we can imagine, so you have your journey. Just to understand the place where she can get access to the full list of members who registered. Do we have to ask you the list, or could we have an access to the campaign who to export who registered to the event?
So I believe, and I haven't done this yet, but remind me, Britt, is it the campaign or the event becomes visible inside of Dynamics and is therefore campaign, right? So when people are waitlisted, obviously that's not a campaign, but as they become registered and start to move through the process, there will be a campaign for them, which is matched by the journey. So that will be shareable, and then sellers will be able to see all the people who are registered, not the wait list. They don't need to, but that will be possible, yes.
Yeah, there is still discussion on how and who and whatever campaigns will be made visible to the sellers. It's not our call as Sales Ops. So there is, however, as you can see in D365 as well, if it's turned on, we can see it, maybe sellers can see it too, in the menu, the campaigns, and they could go and click on any campaign to see where the members, whatever. But certainly in the contact history, they also have the ability to see what campaign are they part of and so on. But we'll see how much visibility a seller gets to the whole world of campaigns. Latest in reports for sure.
Okay, d'accord.
But they will also see it in Power BI.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
In Power BI for sure. Okay, in Power BI for sure, but we don't know if we can see it already in Dynamics. Also in Dynamics. That's something you will hear. Okay.
It's technically possible. What they should and should not, if they should have that campaign tab on the left-hand side or not, I don't know. We'll find out. It's not our call.
Yeah. So yeah, just quickly back. Journey exit. So there are a way of in a journey. If we quickly throw one together. So this time it's segment based. Off we go. Start date. There is this kind of goal of the journey and what counts as success, and this is considered as the exit from the journey. So for the minute, we're still looking at how useful this will be, where we're going to use it, if we're going to use it, that sort of thing. So bear with us, but the idea would be that you could mark some level of success. Now we do have our own success statuses, so wait and see. Final bit, publishing. So to begin with, you will not have permission to publish journeys. If you feel that your journey is ready for action, then please submit a ticket to Emo and we will sanity check it and get it going for you. Double checking these wait steps, making sure everything's right. But when you do get those permissions, once you name and save your journey, you have the option to publish it, and then you'll get this lovely little publishing bit. Katja.
I assume then we just can copy the link from the journey, add that to the ticket, and then you're gonna get directly to that journey to publish, right?
Or you tell us the name of the journey, because
Okay,
we'll be
that's
able
also
to see
that's
them all.
also okay. That will okay, got it.
So I don't know if you can. I don't know if that. I haven't actually.
Whatever
checked.
is easier for you. If
Yeah,
the name is fine, if the link is better, I was just wondering how to share it best.
Either or, we're happy to see which works best, but name should be fine. We can search for it by that.
Okay.
So journey activities, like we alluded to, you can see people progressing through your journey. For each step, you'll get a number. The thickness of the line represents obviously how many people are going through. And you can also see it in the analytics tab. So here we're setting it up. We just have audience. When it's published, we would get this audience and we'd also have the property. Sorry, that would become properties. And then we'd also have analytics. It's showing the flow through different states. We'd obviously also still have this in Power BI. And all the other kind of reporting places. But this gives us like very quick, very easy visual understanding of people moving through the journey. If we're doing decision trees, say A/B testing, things like that, then we'll be able to see routes and what is the most favorable.
And that's really cool. I mean, I think just to stress some of the positives, right? That's cool that you have this graph that shows you the different steps and branches that your journey can do. You even see how many are going through which of the different steps. And if you click every step of the way, you get an analytics for every step. So how many people went through the attended step versus the not attended step versus whatever you may have in your journey. It's cool. And in the flow details, when you click that little symbol there, the blue one, you even see the list of people.
So that's this one here, which I don't know, some of us who have done Nurture, I remember pulling the reporting for that, and that was a lot of work, whereas this is, you can just see people flowing through and how many people have got far enough. Caroline, do you have a question? No. Yay. You do
She's
not
unmute.
have a question.
Sorry. Can you cancel a scheduled journey? So,
Yes.
so say I put it all together, I schedule it, and then a day later I'm like, oh no, the event is canceled or whatever comes up, and I need to unschedule and cancel the whole thing.
Yes.
Is that, yeah, okay. But then the people that are in the journey, they don't come through the whole journey anymore. So then it's cut off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct, Brett? That's how I understand
You can
it.
stop anytime, and stop is stop. It freezes.
Yeah. So there's stop and there's cancel, right? If I remember right.
Take a look. Do I know this by heart?
I love being
if you
an
click
expert.
on a journey, an existing one that's live, I think you certainly can edit and you can stop it. And you can pause it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's where I was getting confused. There's pause and there's stop. And as we were sort of alluding to, I mean, I have a slide ready for it, so we'll do that first. But important things to remember. You can edit and make new versions, but anyone in these earlier versions will complete this step. That's what we mentioned before. So here's an example where we have different versions. So people, where it's green, there are people still in that flow and they're competing through it. You can see the flow of traffic, how it's working. We can also see full version history to get everything, but this is our current live version and the people moving through the live version. as mentioned, there are almost too many options when it comes to kind of triggers and optimization and filtering. So if in doubt, get in contact with Mops. We'll let you know. And obviously, don't stop believing, because journeys, and this has been in my head for a week, I'm so sorry, but you have to look at cat memes. Yeah, that is pretty much that one. We'll do Q&A in a minute, but yeah, next week will be segments and forms. So one thing I do just want to, well, I do want to show you is A/B testing can be controlled through a journey. So as a very quick one, if we do our segment, we have that. We can then apply A/B testing and we can test on email. We would then obviously create our test, select our emails, do all the things that we need to. Here we have like our versions. Do we want a control group? What is our metrics? So just like we would do in, well, easier, in a way easier than we do it in Marketo, we can run A/B testing. So just important, if you're worried about that, that can be done there. There we go. That was fun. What a journey we've all been on. Hey. Sorry. Anyway, Katja, hello.
Hello. One more question. Can I also, when a journey is live, I connected emails to my journey, but I can still, and it's active, but for example, the follow-up email is not sent yet, so we're before the event, but I can still make changes in the email. It doesn't affect the journey, right? The same as now. Okay.
Same as now.
Just need to make sure they are ready to send again, and
yes,
and not in draft version. Okay.
100%. Yep, spot on. So you can still modify emails right up until the minute it starts sending. I mean, you could do it while it's sending, but we'd be breaking things, and we don't want to do that. We would do it before, just because you can.
I'm not allowed to.
There you go. Anyone else?
I do want to ask about something like forms. I know you said you'll speak about it tomorrow, next week, but I just remembered.
Yeah.
Because you have forms now that are quite flexible. Can we do subscription now? Email subscriptions. So last time I remember we was trying to do like newsletter subscriptions and we couldn't do because of the form for Marketo. And I was like,
yeah, I think you were hoping for a form that just has email address that puts you into the database and you start receiving emails, right?
Email names, something simple, something that we can register them for newsletters, and instead of registering only for our events, you know, they want to access our newsletters or whatever we can do. And if maybe the form can show us, you know, I only want to receive whatever. Just asking for a friend. I know that this for Marketo we didn't have
who's
the
your
option
friend?
to do it. There's a friend there.
So the forms are built, and these are the base required fields. So if you're happy to use that form, if you want just a form with an email address, no, because that data it won't work in the data mart. It makes no sense. Can we take a form and use it so you are signing up for a newsletter and we make sure that you get added to the audience? Can we make that exclusively, because it wouldn't just be a newsletter, right? We're saying, do you want to subscribe for marketing communications?
We can give them multiple, right? Or, you know, either just the newsletter or newsletter plus events. I don't know what we can do, but just opening the conversation here, because we have audiences that are not on our, you know, so they're not on our database.
In theory, yes, we can, because CIJ is amazing and flexible and can do a ton of things. Will we be doing it before next year, phase 2? No.
And to be honest, technically we could do it in Marketo too. We said you don't want to do it the way you're thinking, because right now we don't have an opt-in. We don't need people to tell us that they want to sign up for a newsletter. They get it as long as they don't opt out. We can send it to whoever we want who's not opted out. If you now put a form in front of them saying like, you need to fill out this form before you send you the newsletter, you're basically limiting yourself to only the form fillers that you can send the newsletter to. So we highly recommend not to do that. Plus, it would be just a second. Plus, we would have a hard time in excluding them from receiving any other information because now we're just, from a marketability point of view, are just listening for did they opt out or not. So that's the reason why we didn't support it in the past. If that's what you're looking for, to sign up for a newsletter and prevent other emails.
I was more thinking of audiences who don't register for webinars, don't register for, our events, and how do we manage to get their details? And I was thinking just to have a landing page with a form to subscribe for newsletters, information about research and so on and so forth, which is a bit more exciting than register for a webinar. So it's not for existing audiences in our database, it's about reaching new audiences.
Capturing new ones.
Capturing new ones, yes. That's
so
what I'm thinking.
A form without an event where it's basically just sign up and learn more, right?
Mm-hmm.
They fill it in, they end up in our database. We're not having to do anything specific for them. They exist now. That form would essentially be like marketing communications. We're not going to necessarily specify you just get newsletters or you just get this, because then we're fragmenting our audience and it makes it more complicated for us. But there's no reason why we couldn't deploy a form on our page. We've got embed forms, they're very cool. We can put them on the web page, you can sign up, and then you will be allocated to the BU and emails will flow until you actively choose to unsubscribe.
As long as we use the mandatory fields, exactly.
Yes.
So that has always been possible. If you want to add people to our database using forms, anytime, anywhere.
But then they will get all the communication. They will also get the invitation for webinars. They will also, whatever you send, they will get. So it's not what you asked before. If you only want to give them some, you said interesting information. By the way, my webinars are always interesting. No, I'm just kidding. Really
That's why I sign up.
So that doesn't work. But we can get them in the database, I understand, but only if they get everything then, basically, right? Okay, got it.
I think the problem with that form and subscription had also some of the other BUs. When I was in Benelux, the majority of team partner, lots of people unsubscribed just without thinking. So a lot of partners did not receive the partner newsletters. Mm-hmm. So some of the partner team who are actually responsible asked me a couple of times, can we have just a simple form that they can personally share with their team that they don't receive any communication. They did not receive any communication for partner events, for World Tour, because they were unsubscribed, that they can resubscribe. They have a form, an easy one. Just click it and subscribe, and then everything goes back to the normal. So that's what request came a few times in my previous role as well, which was not at that time possible with Marketo. They had to send an email to operation and then all the stages. Would it be possible to have that link to share with the field? A form?
Actually, we did find a solution in Marketo. There is a change currently, even when you go to the privacy policy webpage, wherever you can actually change your subscription to opt in or opt out. Good question. When it comes to our preference center and CIJ, we need to check how that manages a resubscription. Let's leave it as an open. Let's not promise too much at this stage.
Yeah, it's not my responsibility at the moment, but in my previous, there was a lot of pain points from the field coming to me. That's why I wanted to address it.
Just tell them not to unsubscribe to start with, and then we don't have any problems.
Okay, we've got 2 minutes, and Carolyn's got a hand up, so would you like to ask a last question?
Hopefully, come more. I was
this is where you go. It's a 5-part question.
Exactly. We'll see how many parts. I was just thinking, listening to this conversation, can we create a journey that adds people to a segment. So say if you fill out this form on this web page, add the person to segment, so the segment grows organically, and then for the newsletter we say just reference people in this segment. Could that be something?
I don't know, because I haven't tried that, but I have thought about it. So let me put it like this.
Right? You don't even need to have a journey putting them to a segment. Segments are dynamic. But just like the Marketo, smart lists are dynamic.
Yeah, but then you add to members or lists, but you never add to a segment. But that doesn't matter in this case.
Yeah. I know. I think I'm following. So say we had 20 people, half of them did something, and if they did something, we want them in an audience, right? Then rather than using the journey, the segment itself is dynamic. It can be constantly updating. So as long as we give it the criteria that would have been triggered by the journey, the segment will just pick that up all the time, and that audience will grow and grow and grow. Okay. So yes, but you do it in the segment, not in the journey. The journey isn't pushing, the segment is grabbing.
Cool. So you can go into the details next week, since we're going to talk segments next week.
Of course, because I know it perfectly, and that would be
excellent.
Easy. Yeah. Love to. God damn, why have I got homework? Okay. Cool. Well, if there's no more, we do have other meetings. So do have a lovely week, and we will speak to you on Friday. We've got some questions about emails from our regular caller. If anyone's got any questions that they want raising, if they can't be there, just send them over to me.
More homework for Mark.
More homework for Mark, and we'll do them all together. So yeah, if you don't want to say at the time, or you're not going to be there, feel free to ping me anything you want.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.